Today I want to talk to you about 5 tips for unlocking more of your potential. So these 5 tips are focus areas that I want to discuss with you, and then after giving you the 5 areas, I want to tell you why the Silva Method is absolutely the best way to implement these things into your life. In other words, to integrate them and take action and make them part of your life versus any other method out there. So stick with me and watch to the end. Okay, so the 5 tips for unlocking your potential. Before I say what they are, did you know that you have unlimited potential? This is not something new. Abraham Maslow discovered this decades ago. We all have infinite potential. There's no limit to what you can do. So where does all this amazing potential reside? Where is it hiding? Where is it locked in that when we talk about we're going to unlock it, where is it? Well, it's buried in deep reservoirs of the mind. So here are the focus areas for unlocking more of that potential. The first focus area is focus on your strengths. Focus on your strengths. If you do what you're good at, without a doubt, you're going to love what you do. Love what you do what you love. When you start mixing all that passion and enthusiasm into anything that you do, you become contagious. You affect others. You become something that inspires other people, and you're going to do well. You know, Les Brown says a career is something that you love so much, you'll do it for nothing. But you'll do it so well that people will want to pay you for it. That's because it's one of your strengths. You know, many people say focus on your weaknesses. Well, my opinion is, if you're talking about talents and gifts, that's a lot of rubbish. Don't focus on the talents and gifts that you're weak at. If you want to focus on weaknesses, focus on things like bad habits, procrastination, negative thinking. Yes, I'd say definitely focus on those. But when it comes to your talents and gifts, to unlock your potential, find out what you're good at, work in your strength zone. And if you don't know what that is, explore the possibilities or ask people that have known you for years, what am I really good at? Every single person, bar none, comes into this world with certain things that they do and express better than anybody else. Even if we have the same talent, the way we express that talent is unique to each and every one of us. Okay, so that's the first one. The next one is focus on today. That's right, focus on today to unlock more of your potential. There's a saying that says, yesterday ended last night. Stop thinking about the past. Actually, thinking about the past could be a habit, a bad habit, a way of, just thinking in the rearview mirror all the time. There's a reason why the windscreen of a car is way bigger than the rearview mirror. There's nothing wrong with reflection. That's intentional, and what can I learn from yesterday? But the only reason we want to reflect is to understand what we did well, what we could have done better, and how will we do differently next time to act better in the future. So don't think too much on the past, and also don't think too much on the future. Think about today, because what you apply today is really sowing the seeds for your future. So the next thing is focus on your priorities. You see, priorities can be a life-changing thing for you if you learn how to do this well. You know, the greatest mentor in my life is John Maxwell. I can't talk about him enough. I admire him probably more than anyone else that I know in terms of how he's helped me in my life. And he said, he was asked a question once, what was the biggest turning point for you in your life? And John Maxwell's answer was the day he learned the 80-20 principle. That's the law of priorities in his book, The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. You see, it's lack of direction, not lack of time, that causes failure. Let me say that again. It's lack of direction, not lack of time. So prioritizing is really something that can make sure, if you do this well, that you're focusing on what you're good at, what you can do today, and making sure that within today, you're going to take action, use more of your potential, and move more towards your goals. The next thing to focus on are your results. You know, we can all get caught up on having a bad day or maybe a bad week, maybe a bad month. To be honest, I know some people who've had more than a bad year. So when you're feeling a bit lost or you're feeling a bit down, it happens to all of us. We need to get back to asking ourselves a couple of questions. And in the Silva Method, we actually do this in a deep state of meditation called the alpha state. And I'm telling you, and I promise you, and I guarantee you, the results will be different than doing them with a conscious state of mind, and they will be way, way more powerful and more aligned to your true essence and your higher self, and, you know, the part of you that really knows what's the best for you if you do this within a deep state of meditation like we do in the Silva Life training. But questions to ask yourself when you want to focus on your results and get yourself back on track is, what do I want to create in my life? What do I want to create? Go back to that question and ask yourself, why do I want to create it? You've got to ask why, and the why has to be big enough, because why is linked to purpose. The stronger the why, the more motivation, the more passion, the more enthusiasm, the more fuel is in your rocket to achieve what it is that you want. So asking why is a really good question. Viktor Frankl, the author of A Man's Search for Meaning, says, with a strong enough why, we can overcome any how. So when you do get those tough times, that tough day, tough week, tough month, and for the people who even have more than a tough year, if your why is strong enough, you can overcome any how. And the next thing to ask is, so what do I want to create? Why do I want to create it? What strengths and talents do I have to create this? So you make sure you're staying in your strength zone. And the last question we ask is, how does this relate to others? You see, because the fifth focus for unlocking more of your potential is contribution. Contribution. You know, life just is this way. I don't know many people, there are some out there, but, you know, I admire them and they're probably better than me and most people. But there's some people who start off life, you know, right from the youngest years, having a massive contribution to the world. I think they're wonderful. I think they're blessings to this planet. But for the majority of us, we go through a learning process in life where we first need ourselves to have achieved certain things and a certain level of success and accomplishments, which is really focusing on the first four. But when we get there, there comes a time where life really has not much meaning or purpose unless we're making a significant contribution. So I love when we go to that reflection. In the Silva Method, we have, as I said, this one exercise we do in the alpha state where we ask, what do I want to create? Why do I want to create it? What strengths and talents and gifts do I have to create this? We also ask when, because it's good to put in the mind a target. We will always have our mind subconsciously wanting to hit that target. And the last question is, how does this relate to others? Because the minute we can see how the things that we want in life and the goals that we want have a benefit to others, do we start really living an intentional, purposeful, meaningful, and fulfilling life? And when you live that life, that's the kind of life that when you get into the winter years of your life and you're close to transitioning, that you can sit back with a deep sense of peace and satisfaction within, that you've made a difference, that your time here has made a difference to others. You've made a contribution. So the Silva Method entire program, its key tagline from Jose Silva himself is, a better you, a better world. A better you, a better world. You see, if we create a better person ourselves, we can give more in contribution. So those are the 5 steps. Now, why I say the Silva Method is the best way to make this part of your life and just not some information I'm sharing with you is because everybody in the world, the biggest gap is between what we know and what we do. And everybody struggles with this. I do, everybody does. What we know and what we do. There's that gap there. So what happens is all our behaviors, maybe we want to prioritize daily, but we just seem to struggle with procrastination. Maybe we want to understand more of our talents and gifts, but we never seem to apply the time, or we ignore it, or we think we don't have any, or we've got poor self-esteem. There are many reasons, but we might not get into doing any of these things. It's because, I've said this in other videos, 95% of all our behaviors are on autopilot, driven from our subconscious programming, our conditioning, our paradigm. So when you work in the outside waking state, this, as I'm talking to you now, is called the beta state. We're using the conscious analytical mind, and if this was the mind, it's like using the tip of the iceberg, but all your behaviors come from the subconscious programming. So in the Silva Method, it's a meditation-based program, dynamic meditation-based program, where we go into a deep state of meditation where the brain is the most receptive to programming that subconscious mind, and in that state, we actually develop and write new neurological pathways to help us change this programming to make sure that in the outside waking state, our behaviors lead us to taking the steps in the real world of doing things we're strong at, acting today, making the most of today, prioritizing, not procrastinating, making sure we can discern what's going to give me the best ROI, what's going to be most rewarding, what requires me to do it that I don't and can't delegate to someone else, and we can prioritize correctly. Asking ourselves, talking about results, what do I want to create? Why do I want to create it? And how it will make a contribution to others. When we do that in the alpha state, because we're changing beliefs, deep-seated beliefs and habits, we can get the results in the outside world. And when all this starts to click into place for you, you start living the most phenomenal life. Because when you're living from this part of how what you do adds value to others, my friends, my mentor John Maxwell says, success is all about me. Significance is all about others. And once you've tasted significance, success will never satisfy you again. So I want to end on that note. Have a wonderful day. God bless. And if you want more information how we do this in the Silva Method Life Training, please visit the website for more information.